Hey guys, it's Mrs. L here. Today we will be doing Cambridge English Complete IELTS Bands 4 to 5. This is the student books with answers. Okay, so we're going to start with Unit 1, Great Places to Be. For the first exercise, we need to write down the names of cities besides the photos. So let's have a look. The options we got are Amsterdam, Dubai, New York, Rio de Janeiro, Shanghai, and Sydney. So I'm looking at picture number 1. Obviously, it's a very busy city, and you can see big billboards, lights, plenty of people around. It's a modern city, so I am going to say it is New York. Number 2. Now, a lot of people find number 2 to be quite difficult to identify. If you don't know the answer, then obviously what you can do is just leave it to the very end and match it up with the final answer that hasn't been used as yet. But in this case, it is Rio de Janeiro. As you can see, there are beautiful mountains in the far background, plenty of water, and definitely a busy city that's right by the water. Number 3 is Dubai, very beautiful city. Number 4, Amsterdam. Number 5 is Sydney. You can see the Sydney Opera House, very iconic. And last of all, it is Shanghai, which is number 6. Exercise 2. Which of these cities would you like to visit? Why? Use these ideas to help you. Excellent shopping, friendly people, great food, lots to do, unusual buildings, lively festival, spectacular scenery. Okay, so let's go through each of these ideas just to build up our vocabulary and understand them a little bit better. So excellent shopping, obviously that's pretty self-explanatory. Some places, especially places that are busy, such as cities, they have plenty of shopping malls around. Friendly people, that's also self-explanatory as well. Great food, lots to do. Now, lots to do would be, I guess, a lot of activities. So museums, parks, a lot of like adventure playgrounds. If they have a theatre district, that's also an example of lots to do too. Unusual buildings. So unusual buildings could be anything that's, outside our own knowledge of normal buildings. So for example, Sydney Opera House is quite unusual. If they have like the tallest skyscraper, in one of the tallest skyscraper in the world, that would be unusual as well. It's not every city that has it. So lively festivals. So some countries, they do have a lot of festivals going on throughout the year. For example, we got Oktoberfest, which is in Munich, Tomorrowland, which is in Belgium. So a lot of them are like music festivals. There's also other festivals such as like Mardi Gras, which is a lot of cities around the world, they do celebrate as well. Last of all, we got spectacular scenery. So spectacular means beautiful, amazing. A scenery is something that you can see. So alternatively, the city might have a very beautiful mountain range, which is a beautiful scenery. Or alternatively, if you look at Rio, there's the water, there's the mountain, there's the city. That to me is a beautiful scenery as well. Okay, so we're going to move on with the reading task. Work in pairs. You are going to read a passage about cities around the world. Before you read, decide if these are good or bad aspects of cities. Write G for good and B for bad. Okay, so aspects. It's pretty much like to identify whether these are good things or bad things about the city. Good facts or bad facts about the cities. Number 1, friendly inhabitants. Friendly inhabitants are basically friendly people who live in the city or a certain area. They are the people who are willing to help you if you ever need of assistance. Number 2, fast public transport. Fast public transport can be found in cities where they have an underground railway system that enables you to get from A to B in a very short amount of time. So obviously that is a good aspect. Number 3, crowded streets. Some streets in cities are so crowded, for example in Hong Kong, that you kind of have to duck and weave around each other. That to me is an example of a bad aspect. Number 4, a high crime rate. That is definitely a bad aspect. Nobody wants to be around crime. Nobody wants to be involved in a crime. Number 5, people in a hurry. So if you look at cities such as Sydney, New York, and Hong Kong, everybody's in a hurry. Everybody's rushing to get to work. Nobody wants to be in the midst of a crowd. So that to me is a bad aspect. Number 6, a relaxed lifestyle. A relaxed lifestyle could be found in cities such as somewhere close to the beach, where there's plenty of air, fresh air, plenty of water, plenty of space, where people just move at a slow pace. That to me is a good aspect. Part 2. Write 2 more aspects of cities which are good and 2 more which are bad. In my opinion, an example of a good aspect of a city is a green city. What that means is that there are plenty of parks, plenty of drinking water facilities, recycling bins. Actually, you'd be surprised how many cities do not have a lot of bins available. Plenty of I've seen places where they have a recycling kiosk where you can actually put in some plastic bottles and you can get some rewards or money back for it. Other examples of a green city is where they allow you to have bikes. The government will issue bikes around and you can use those bikes to travel around as opposed to driving or catching public transport or taxi. Another good aspect of a city, another good aspect is art and culture. I like visiting cities where there's plenty of art around, where you can see beautiful sculptures, beautiful artwork. They also may have like a lot of cultural festivals celebrating each individual unique culture. An example of a bad aspect, in my opinion, is definitely dirty streets. The reason why is because I don't like to be walking out on the streets and seeing rubbish everywhere. It's even worse when the ground is wet and there's a lot of dirt on the ground and it just flies up onto your legs. Another example is pollution. Pollution is definitely quite high where I'm from, and I can see that there is a cloud of smog every single morning as well. Everyone here pretty much has to wear a mask to avoid the pollution. Exercise 3. Read the passage on page 9 quickly. Which 4 cities are mentioned and which is the friendliest? The world's friendliest city. A team of social psychologists from California has spent 6 years studying the reactions of people in cities around the world to different situations. The results show that cities where people have less money generally have friendlier populations. Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, which is often known for its crime, comes out top, and the capital of Malawi, Lilongwe, comes third. But what makes one city friendlier than another? The psychologists from California University say it has got more to do with the environment than culture or nationality. They carried out a study into the way locals treated strangers in 23 cities around the world. The team conducted their research through a series of tests where they dropped pens or pretended they were blind and needed help crossing the street. The study concludes that people are more helpful in cities with a more relaxed way of life, such as Rio. While they were there, researchers received help in 93% of cases, and the percentage in Lilongwe was only a little lower. However, richer cities such as Amsterdam and New York are considered the least friendly. Inhabitants of Amsterdam helped researchers in 53% of cases in New York, just 44%. The psychologists found that in these cities, people tend to be short of time, so they hurry and often ignore strangers. Okay, so just going back to the question, which 4 cities are mentioned? So we got Rio, Malawi, Amsterdam, and New York. Which is the friendliest? So, if you see here, Rio de Janeiro was often known for its crime, comes out top. Exercise 4. Read the passage quickly again. Which of the good and bad aspects in exercise 1 are mentioned? So let's go back to exercise 1. Friendly inhabitants. Yes, that was mentioned. Fast public transport. No, it was not. Crowded street. It was not mentioned, but it is implied. But still, no, it's not. A high crime rate. Yes, it was. People in a hurry. Yes, it was. A relaxed lifestyle. Yes, it was as well. Exercise 5. Match the words and phrases in italics in the table with the words and phrases in italics in the passage. So if you look here, friendly inhabitants. Inhabitants. The word that matches inhabitants is population. Next word, lifestyle. The word that matches lifestyle would be way of life. The next word, don't have so much. That would be, let's see, have less. Next word, reputation, has reputation. That one, known for. Next one, have little. That would be short of. Don't pay attention is the last one. Ignore. Number 6. Now complete the table. Choose one word from the passage for each answer. So number 1, more something lifestyle. More relaxed lifestyle. Where is the word relaxed? There you go. Okay. Number 2, don't have so much money. Number 3, has reputation for, so it's known for its crime. Number 4, have little, short of time, so time. Number 5, don't pay attention, so strangers, ignore strangers. So as you can see, the way that the exercise is written is basically there to help you identify what the keywords is, acknowledge what the definitions of those keywords is, and then from there you can find the answers quite easily. Part 7. Work in a small group and answer these questions. Are you surprised that people in cities with less money are friendlier? Why or why not? So, I am not surprised that people in cities with less money are friendlier. The reason why is mainly because of my experience in the past. I've been traveling around the world for quite a long time now, and I've been to rich countries, I've been to poor countries, and it's always been that the poor countries are the people who are very friendly. They're lovely people, they're willing to help. Yes, there is a high crime rate there, however, at the same time, people with less money, they tend to be more relaxed. They tend to not care too much about making too much money. I feel as though money does really change people's emotions and their personalities a lot. You know, like for example, in Hong Kong, everybody's chasing money. Everybody wants money. Everybody needs money. and the people there aren't so friendly. But if you look at countries such as Vietnam, yes, they all want money, they do need money, but they're not as money driven as people in Hong Kong. So they are more friendlier, they have time to help you. Even if they can't help you, they find a way to help you. Number 2, what is the friendliest place you have ever visited? The friendliest place I ever visited definitely has to be Laos. I traveled in Laos for a period of 1 month from the north to the south, and I found that the people there and the personalities were all consistent. They were nice, they were friendly, and they were willing to help. They were very respectful of people with different cultures, and as a result, people with different cultures was respectful towards them as well. There wasn't a dishonesty in terms of prices, which I liked as well. When you travel to countries where there's a high tourism rate, the prices seems to be like through the roof, depending on where you come from. So if they see that, oh, you're Chinese, they might think, okay, you have money, let's get some more money off them. Alternatively, if you have like a white skin, they might feel the same way as well. However, what I found in Laos is that they don't judge you. They just give you one price and that's it. And that's what I loved the most. Number 3, how friendly are the people in your town or city to visitors? Give examples. So in my city, which is currently Hong Kong right now, I honestly do not think that the people are too friendly to visitors. Why that is, I'm still trying to decide, but I am assuming it's probably because they don't really care too much about the tourism industry. Number 1, because it's one of those cities that attracts tourism anyway. Number 2, a lot of people don't have time. They're busy working, and they work really hard. And the city is pretty much a big rat race. Time is money. And if you are wasting time, then you lose money, basically. So they don't really have time to stop and chat to you and try to help you. Most people, they kind of like just shoo you away, which is a bit unfortunate. But, on the other hand, they do have themselves and their families to worry about as well. So that concludes today's lesson, which is reading part 1. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. It is my first video, so I apologize if it may not be as smooth as one would have wished. Now, if you are interested in getting more assistance and more help, please feel free to subscribe and also leave me a comment, and I can get back to you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.